So what do you do if you are subject to this behavior or your friend is subject to this behavior? Please note that this is the last thing we wish upon anyone. We don't want anyone to have this experience, but the statistics state, especially in college, this is the lived reality for a lot of folks. And so that's why the university wants to make it clear that we will not tolerate this behavior. We will take a strong response, and we expect you as community members to see something, say something, do something. All right, more specifically, how you help a friend. Listening is key. You need to turn off all the internal dialogue and all the gadgets that we have and listen full-heartedly and validate, validate, validate. Listening without judgment looks like not asking a lot of questions about what they were doing that night. Why were they acting that sort of way? That could be perceived by someone as victim blaming, which could be pretty traumatic. So it's just important to listen, validate, and then get that person connected to the resources on and off campus. When you're connecting folks to resources, make sure that they're making those decisions. They just had an event that really took a lot of power away from them, and we want to try to give opportunities for them to make informed decisions for themselves. Resources on and off campus. First, we have counseling services, which we'll have Jennifer next to share that resource with you. We have the LGBT Resource Center and the Women's Resource Center, which is in like the Mod A section, which you'll make your way there eventually. But great people, great resources, support groups, activities that you can participate in. Next Door and the YWCA are off-campus resources, but they support folks in advocacy, reporting to the police, with petition orders regarding restraining or stalking orders. They have counseling, support groups. They're wonderful, wonderful entities that will really support someone who has experienced something of this nature. The last two are our Student Health Center, anything medical, and also the University Ombudsperson. She is excellent as she would be able to describe all the university processes. Now, if the person who experienced this harm decided, I want to report to someone, here are our options on campus. We want to make it known that counseling services is confidential. So if you wanted to speak with someone and know that your information will not be taken anywhere, it's counseling services. Both the Office of Equal Opportunity and Student Conduct and Ethical Development will be able to do something about the behavior. So they are offices that can take action and change the situation. That may look like an investigation or subsequent hearing or something of that nature. Lastly, you can always report to the police. So just to give you a little bit of preview, like I said before, this behavior is not acceptable, not tolerated, and when we learn of this information, the university will respond. The way that that may look like is via following rules and policies in our executive orders. The worst thing that can happen to you via the university response is expulsion. Since we're part of a CSU system, it impacts all 23 campuses. So you would basically lose the CSU system in California. With the criminal process, there are criminal and civil proceedings, and there are subsequent consequences of engaging in that process. As a community member, like I said before, we want you to be an empowered bystander as a member of our SJSU community. We want you to see something and we want you to say something. What that looks like is if you see a situation that could lead to potential harm, we want you to use some kind of approach to mitigate that situation. If you feel comfortable doing a direct, proactive approach, you can have a conversation, you can exhibit some behaviors. If you want to get someone else to help you, you can phone a friend, and that would look like a partner approach. Or if you're not very comfortable, but you're really good at creating a diversion, you can do that. I've seen this in my prior role, fraternity members telling their friends that their cars are being towed to get people out of the way and into safety. So it could be random things in that nature that you do to help support people. As being part of our community is you're expected to participate in our online Haven program. It's an hour course. You will be given those directions via your email. and you must complete it within the designated time frame. The Haven program is basically the information we discussed here, but more in depth on how you actually become an empowered bystander, the things that you can do to actively listen, more nuanced within U.S. statistics about stalking and sexual violence. So a lot more information. It's very useful. If you fail to complete this program within the time frame, a hold will be placed on your record. What that means is you will have a very difficult time enrolling in classes. So that's why it's really important to complete this program within the designated time frames.